Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's Monday morning, July 25th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to talk strategy, share success stories, talk tips, and to support each of you. Today's a very special training because we are launching a new program. And we're going to break this down into three parts. We're going to discuss the what, and then we'll discuss the why, and then we'll discuss the how. So let's start with the what. So if all's going well, on my screen, I'm sharing with you both the SBA Express loan page of the Business Paralegal website. And then on the right-hand side, I'm sharing a flyer with you. Now, we do have the URL sbaexpressprogram.org and also .com, but .org, and it is actually forwarded right here. So from a marketing perspective, SBAexpressprogram.org is what you'll see on our in-house information. Of course, you'll be able to edit that for your own use, and we'll get to that on the how in a few minutes. So again, on what is this all about? Well, some of you know, and many of you know, there are different first of all, there's many different sources of capital. And then SBA guaranteed loans is a subset of that. And even within SBA guaranteed loans, there are different types of SBA loans. One of the, I think, most overlooked sources of capital, even if it's not enough for the entire client's capital raise, maybe it's just a first or an initial tranche, is the SBA Express 7A loans. Now, with 7A Express loans, those are going to go through a bank. You don't apply to the SBA to get an SBA Express loan. There are certain SBA approved lenders, and so we're going to go through a lender to apply. We have secured, and that's why we're rolling this out now, we have secured a very strong working relationship with one of the top SBA lending banks in the nation. And so they actually have a unit that's specifically focused on SBA Express loans. So it's not only something that they do, it's a specific department or division. And I flew to Washington, D.C., literally met with the gentleman that's in charge of this whole unit. So we're set up to be able to work with that bank, and we're ready to start enrolling clients. So many types of funding in the marketplace. SBA guaranteed loans is a subset of that. There's different types of SBA guaranteed loans. The 7A Express is one that is probably the most accessible. Since those do go through banks, there can be different requirements. And so everything I'm telling you, of course, is true, but you may have heard things that are different. So for example, you might have heard, well, a startup business can't get an SBA loan. You've got to be at least in business 2 years. Well, that is not true. Everything that the SBA requires is in their SOP, their standard operating procedures. If you've not read it, you may want to. But with that being said, they push much of the decision making to their lending partners, the banks, the SBA approved lender. And so I can promise you, and I can tell you, I can assure you that no, you can, or I guess I'll say it, yes, you can be a startup, a brand new business, pre-revenue, and get an SBA loan. If you've heard different, that's because the bank, the lending institution, has a different set of underwriting guidelines. But let's go through this proposition. And so again, this is a specific lending program targeting SBA 7A Express loans through our partnered bank. So obviously everything that we're saying is true, but it's specific through this bank relationship, whereby you might see, just like with time and business, conflicting information elsewhere, but that's not the case through this lending program. So first off, funding in as little as 10 days. That's not some sort of marketing pitch that you and I are just throwing out there to get people enthused. That is true. Used to be 15 days. And now they've become even more efficient that it's as little as 10 days. And so that is fast. Traditionally, SBA loans take a long time, 30, 60, 90 days. Here, as little as 10 days. So we described that our technical advisory team are business paralegals who have SBA, SBD experience and can create the loan package needed to get approval. So the SBA Express loan program that we're looking at here on the website or the flyer, it's the loan packaging that's necessary. So what are some of the key selling points? So again, for those of you just joining us now, we're going to talk about the what, which is the new SBA Express loan program. Then we'll talk about the why, and then we'll wrap it up with the how. How do you make money from it yourself? All right, so some of the hot selling points. Quick approvals. We're typically getting approval the same day of application. You can't get more efficient than that. Sometimes it's the next day, but as soon as this, and typically same day as application, which is awesome. They're in the Eastern time zone, so keep in mind that as we get later in the day, it may roll to the next day. Fast funding, as we've already said, funded in as little as 10 business days. And so how is that funded? Well, that is wired into the client's bank account. So those of you that are white label partners, you're typically receiving your deposits and performance fees from your clients. And they're going to typically, well, you probably will typically want them to pay you by wire, by ACH, by bank-to-bank transfer. That's how business transactions are commonly done. And that is the way that it would be funded. We are clarifying that startup businesses can qualify. Now, I'm going to tell you this is a little bit inconsistent. In the SBA world, a startup means a business less than 2 years old. Now, most of us, when we're talking to entrepreneurs, they think startup means something different. But just to clarify, the intent here is you can be a brand new business, and get an SBA loan. So we're using startup here in the context that most people think of it as quote unquote brand new business. But just so you know, technically a startup in SBA terms is anything less than 2 years. We have a written guarantee, so there's no risk for the participants. We're working with one of the largest SBA lenders in the United States, which I mentioned. And then we get to the whole topic of credit. So what does it take to get an SBA loan? Well, we would probably want to go back and look at the SBA SOP, wouldn't we? The standard operating procedures. If you looked at that, and if I recall correctly, I think it's going to state a 140 FICO. But the bank that we're working with, again, for transparency, has upped the threshold a bit. They're looking for at least a 165 FICO. You might say, well, 165 FICO, I've got that, or that doesn't even make sense. Well, we're talking about business credit scoring system, right? It's called SBSS. We've got to help people get away from thinking everything in terms of the consumer perspective and think of it from the business perspective. So the FICO SBSS scoring system goes from a low of 0 or 1 up to 300. We only need to be at a 165. So the point here is it's very reasonable, and then we will help them build out their business credit if need be. We can do that very quickly. So normally, as you know, when we're building out loan packages, it's normally $2,500. But for this specific program, based upon what we're doing with this bank, we're lowering that down. So the loan package fee is only, essentially, let's round it off, called $1,000. But half of that is paid what's considered a retainer, or you might almost call earnest money at the time of enrollment. And then the other half is not paid until after funding. So what would it cost the client to enroll in the SBA Express loan program? It would cost them $999.99, of which only half of that is due at enrollment. The other half is paid after funding. It's very affordable. And then we even say, you know, if 499 is a problem, then we got some real liquidity problems, don't we? But we could even look at helping them finance that if needed. So there is the rundown, and this, of course, is captured on the SBA Express loan page of the Business Paralegal website, and then there's a submission form here. We'll go ahead and go through the flyer, which is largely just the same information, and that'll kind of conclude our what discussion. Then we'll spend a couple of minutes talking about the why this is being offered, and then how you'll make money from it if you choose to. All right, so on the flyer, the SBA Express loans up to $150,000, funding as soon as 10 days. Who should participate? Entrepreneurs seeking an initial tranche of up to $150,000 of capital to start or grow a small business. So again, this may very well just be one tranche, because I know you're going to often have clients that say 150, that's a joke. I need more than 150. I need 500,000, or I need 5 million. Well, we can continue to work with them as they need on a larger capital raise. This may be just a quick initial injection. Charles is asking a question which is correct. I think he's worked in the lending space for a fair amount of time. He's being respectful, but he's kind of calling me out saying, well, wait, SBA 7A Express loans go higher than 150,000. You're correct. You're correct. However, remember, the SBA is not the direct lender. We've got to go through a bank or bank partner. Our bank partner has a specific program set up for SBA Express loans up to 150,000. So just always keep in mind that there's two sets of criteria. There's what's the SOP, the standard operating procedures of the SBA, but also the SBA approved lender. And so this program is as stated, it will max out at 150. That's it. Not 150,000, $1. 150,000. Now, can it be less? Of course, but that's the max. Thank you, Charles. All right, and so again, we're continuing to very clearly state, very transparently state that there's a loan package fee. It's normally $2,500. It's reduced to just under 1,000, of which half is paid at enrollment, the other half after they receive funding. Very fair. And as we talked about a moment ago, if they don't have $499 to get started, then we can help them get financing for that. All right, and the rest is rather redundant of what we've already discussed. We're going to help them build out a loan package for the SBA Express loan, very much targeted to that. And so that's that, and I'm blending a bit into the why, but this is a very targeted approach. These clients that enroll in this is we are laser focused on getting a 7A SBA Express loan from this preferred lender. So does it take 4 weeks? Absolutely not. We're not going through the 4 modules. We're not jumping through the participant guides and all these tasks. We are doing specifically what's needed for this loan. And that's a significant difference, because I can see Timothy's asking, well, what's the difference between this and our access to capital? Well, it's just that, Timothy. Here we are laser focused on getting the loan package put together for an SBA 7 Express loan of $150,000 or less. So the analogy we often talk about in a general sense is, well, when we're working with a client, it's like we're going to make dinner with them tonight. So we need to go over to the refrigerator, open it up, and see what ingredients we have so we can determine what the right recipe is to cook with. Well, here we're going to the refrigerator and we know what our recipe is, right? We're making pepperoni pizza. And so all we're focused on are the ingredients we need for pepperoni pizza, and we can do that very quickly. So hopefully you see the difference. So normally when clients come through the Access to Capital program, or even the 4-week funding, we're gathering a broad data set to figure out where we're going to go. And so that takes more time. This is laser focused. We are going after an SBA Express 7A loan and putting the documentation that's specifically needed for that. So for example, the business plan that is needed for this lender, for this program, is much simpler, and it's essentially a one-page business plan. You might say, well, shit, that's pretty simple. Anyone can develop a one-page business plan. I would argue it's even more complicated, because now we have to get all the relevant information into one page. They don't want 2 pages. They don't want 3 pages. It is laser focused. And then we do need financial projections, which we're going to help them with, and support documents like the PFS, the personal financial statement, SBA Form 413. Is that important? Sure. Are we going to help them create that and optimize that? Absolutely. So hopefully you can see the what is different here, right? Here is a specific program for a specific type of funding. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's focused on that desired outcome. All right, so I think we've covered the what enough. Now let's go to the why. Why is it that we're having this discussion this morning? Well, there's a number of reasons. One of which is some people they want funding and they want it fast. And so going through the 4 modules and watching the participant guides and completing all of this is just not what some people want. They don't want the greater learning experience. They just want fast, focused funding. I guess those are the 3 F's, right? And so that is number one. And then secondly, for you all, it's a simplified approach that puts money in your pocket up front. We're going to talk about the how you make money in a second, right? That's the 3rd item on the agenda. But for some clients, this is going to be a preferred path. And it's certainly going to be easy income for you all. So it can be used whereby clients are coming in directly into this program. It can be for those that are currently going through the free 4-week funding program, and they may want to pivot to this to go after an SBA Express loan. So in other words, it can be made available to current clients and or new ones. So let's talk about how you make money, and this feeds a little bit into what Hannah just asked. So as far as the monetization. So I think we all recognize we have primarily we have 2 types of distribution partners. We have white label partners, which is most of you, and then we have referral partners. So the answer is going to be different for each of you, but we're going to go through both of those answers. So we'll do the referral partner first because it's the easiest. If you are a referral partner and you want to make this available, then what you're going to do is just simply refer people here, put in their information, referred by you, submit it, and just as it states, we're going to send them an Adobe packet to enroll. The first page of the Adobe packet is in fact this, and then it's a very simplified agreement. And it's a 1-month agreement. It's not a long-term. It is simple. It is straightforward. Now, the client's going to be paying, right? The $9.99. Half of that is going to be paid up front, and then the other half after they receive the funding. So it's all clear. We understand that this is not free. There is a document processing fee that's paid for the technical advisory team to do their work, to be able to put together what we've talked about putting together. Now, of that as a referral partner, then you are receiving a flat $100, so 10%, $100. So if you just want to be a referral partner, just feed people in, you make $100. You're not responsible for working with them to put together the business plan. You don't have to do the mentoring, but the how you make money part A, there's 2 parts, part A for referral partners, part B for white label partners. But for part A, for referral partners, just feed them in here. We'll send them the agreement, and then they'll sign up, and you make $100 of the 1,000. You get half up front, and the other half after funding, which is the same as they pay. So in terms of the how, you get paid as a referral partner, flat $100. As a white label partner, it can be much more lucrative because frankly, as a white label partner, how you're paid, you'll probably just want to package this in to your normal access to capital program, and then we'll just run them through this targeted curriculum. So as a white label partner, you're typically going to the marketplace and you're normally having a deposit as well as a performance fee. So if they're coming through internally, there is no performance fee. So it's not like, oh, there's $9.99 plus 10% or plus 5% or plus anything else. This is the total cost through our internal program. But as a white label partner, most of you are going to have your pricing set up differently, and you're going to most likely have a performance fee, but that is up to you. If you're a white label partner, you know what you're paying us, right? You're essentially paying us this amount, and anything that you get from the client above that is your profit. When you enroll the client, we need at least the half paid up front, and then the client can pay the other half after funding. So what we've covered is the what. The what is kind of unveiling the new SBA Express 7A loan program. We've talked about the details of it. We've talked about the why this is important. It provides clients an option to come aboard and go into funding very, very quickly with a very focused approach. And it also allows you to generate income very quickly. And then we've talked about the how. The how varies. If you're a referral partner, then you're just going to refer them over here. But if you're a white label partner, you're going to bring them through your traditional access to capital agreement. You may wish to alter the financing terms, the financial terms, but that's up to you. All right, so with that, let's get into your question. So Hannah asked, can this be used for a white label client or for referrals? And so I think she typed that before I went through it. So that's correct. You can feed folks in as a referral partner by just filling this form out, or as a white label partner by getting them under contract yourself. Veronica asked, how would we offer this particular funding opportunity, a direct link for this? Well, if you're a referral partner, you can do whatever posting or advertisements you can pull from these hot buttons, the scripting, collect the person's information, and all you need to collect from is their name, their email, and their phone. And then you can come over here and submit them, and then we'll drop them into the queue with an Adobe packet. If you're a white label partner, then of course you wouldn't refer them here. You're going to be referring them back to yourself and getting them under your own agreement. David asked about this versus the funding proposal. So the funding proposal online, everything else that we offer continues to exist, so there's no change there, but this is a different campaign. This is laser focused on helping clients get an SBA Express loan of up to $150,000. So it's up to you what campaigns you want to promote, how you want to handle the leads, the prospects that you have. It's up to you. All right. Let's see. So Hannah's asking about FICO SBSS. So we're talking about it over here. So of course, there's many different credit scoring algorithms, and a lot of us have heard of FICO, but there's the mortgage algorithm, and there's the credit card algorithm, and there's auto algorithm. So we all have lots and lots of different credit scores based upon which algorithm that they're using. And then there's one called SBSS, Small Business Scoring System. That is what the SBA uses. And so that's what we're referencing here. It is primarily influenced by the business credit, which we can help the clients improve if needed. And the goal, again, this is a 1-month program, right? Clients come in and we should be going to funding in a week, quite frankly. We should be applying in a week. That's the goal. This is not drawn out. They don't go through the 4 modules. They don't have all the participant guides. We are just focused on getting the pieces together needed specifically for an SBA Express loan, maximum 150,000. All right, who else has questions, comments, concerns? And many of you are correct that there's different campaigns that you and I offer. And so that shouldn't be confusing. You go to a restaurant and you can get shrimp, or you can get steak, or you can get salmon, so there's different offerings. It's okay. Each are their own. It's like if you and I worked at a restaurant and we have a new dish, right? And we're talking about the new dish. Does it mean that the other dishes, the other entrees have gone away? No, they're still the same, but there's a new dish. So this is available. And I agree, Hannah, this is wonderful. All right, so Hannah's looking for some specific questions or some specific guidance on if she has a white label client already in the system. So that's a great point. So any of you that have clients that have enrolled with you as a white label partner, so in other words, a white label client under your white label partnership, they're eligible. All you need to do is go ahead and just decide, how do you want to handle them? Do you want to handle them as a referral? And so if that's the case, you refer them over here and put in your contact information. Or if you're going to handle it really as a white label partner, then you need to go ahead and collect the retainer from them. And what we know is that the retainer is $999.99. You can collect all that from them and forward to us. Of course, you can collect more if you want. You control pricing, but at least half of that has to come over so we can get started. Then they/you wouldn't owe the other half until after they've received the funding. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so who else has questions, comments, concerns on the SBA Express loan program? So it's different, right? It is different. Is there an upfront cost? There absolutely is. It's called a document processing fee. We have experts that are going to help develop the loan package specific for this, and they don't work for free. It is greatly reduced. It's normally a $2,500 value. It's reduced because of the grant to less than half of that. So that's great. And so, but there is a cost to this. You go to an accountant, go to an attorney. You pay fees for professional services. This is a professional service that has a very direct fee structure. If you're a referral partner and you're feeding them into this model, that's their entire cost. There is no performance fee. There is no additional cost. If you are a white label partner, then you're controlling how the money works, right? Because they're contracting with you, they're paying you, and you can set it up however you want, right? That's the difference of being a white label partner versus a referral partner. Referral partner, you're feeding into us. White label partner, you are putting them under your own contract and your own terms. All right, so David's asking back to fundingproposal.online. So if someone comes through the fundingproposal.online site, could they end up with this? Not as a first tranche, because we have to put together the loan package to go after a 7A Express loan. So you can't just say, oh, I want 150,000, I'll just apply. That doesn't work. You'll get declined, right? We need a loan package, right? We need a business plan that meets what the lender wants. In this case, the lender wants specifically a one-page business plan with answers to specific questions, right? Specific information. They need financial projections put together in a certain way. They have a certain form that has to be used, not a general form, their form, right? And the specific documentation. So the answer would be no, David. If someone comes in through fundingproposal.online, this isn't an initial tranche that would be offered to that group, because there's about a 99.99% chance that they're not ready for this. Now, could ultimately we work towards it, of course, but the package has to be built. So I would, in everyone's mind, I just keep it separate. Let's go back to the restaurant analogy. You got steak for sale, you got shrimp, and you got salmon. But if you order salmon, you didn't get the steak. I know there's combo platters, but we'll keep it simple. So this is a separate campaign. But as Hannah asked, if you have someone that is already in your system and you feel like they're a good fit for this, absolutely, let's take them through it. As far, Alfred's asking about from white label partners. So white label partners, of course, have performance goals. The expectation is that a white label partner is going to generate at least 8 clients a month, 2 a week on average. And so you're right, Alfred, this counts. And so this is an easy way for white label partners to, of course, generate income and also stay compliant, because this is a really easy pitch. I can tell you, the go-in rate for doing loan packaging is $2,500 to $5,000. That's an absolutely true statement. So here we are offering something at a small fraction of that. All right. Let's see what other questions. Hannah says she's excited. I am too. So again, it's just how you want to monetize this. Is there a need? Is there a demand for this? Absolutely. How do you want to monetize it? Up to you. If you just want to refer folks in and make an easy $100 for each person that signs up, there you go. Again, I know a lot of you are big money earners, but let's say that you spent an hour, it'd be a lot less, making $100 an hour. That's not a bad side gig. You can work from home with a flexible schedule. So that is option number 1. If instead you want to make more by being more involved, then that's where the white label partnership comes about. You can become a white label partner if you're not already one, and then you would not feed them over here. Then you're going to bring them under your agreement, and then you control the financial terms. If you're a white label partner, I would presume you'll probably want to charge a performance fee on the back end. Again, that's up to you. That's between you and your client. All you would pay us is, if you're the white label partner, as you bring people into the program, you would just pay us the flat fee, which is split half up front, half afterwards. So I think this is what Joe's getting to. Joseph's asking, so if he brings the client in under his white label partnership and he's charging them a performance fee, does he keep all of it? Yes, you would keep all of it, because this campaign is set around very specific parameters that you see here. So it's fine to take it out to the marketplace as you'd like. Okay, Lon's asking about the agreement. So the agreement that you would use if you're a white label partner is probably the same agreement you're already using as a for your access to capital. I don't think, again, you can change that however you want, but I don't think that you as a white label partner need a different agreement for this campaign. You can just make whatever tweaks to that you'd want to. All right, well, I see a lot of excitement. I know that there's tremendous opportunity here. All right, so we got another question. So Timothy's asking, all right, this is a bit specific, but we'll go through the scenario. So Timothy's asking, okay, if I have a client that came in and they didn't get any cash funding offers, so now they're left with the 0% financing package for their refundable deposit. Can he pivot them over to this? And the answer is yes. So that would be great for them. It would save them money. It would expedite their road to financing, and I think it would be good for everyone. So yes, absolutely. If you have, and Bruce is an example. Bruce has a good number of clients that didn't qualify for cash funding coming through access to capital. Bruce, you can absolutely pivot any or all of them over to this if you would like. And so again, this normally when a white label partner brings a client in, there's a $2,500 deposit that's collected from the client after their first tranche of financing. That $2,500 is split 50-50. So this would trump that. So instead of you owing us $1,250 for those clients, you would owe us a reduced amount, half of which is paid up front and the other half after the client receives their funding. You just don't be confused by this. There's two different roles. Referral partners, all you do is refer in right here on the SBA Express loan page, which is also, you can get to it by sbaexpressprogram.org. So you feed them in here, you get paid your $100, nothing else to worry about. If you're a white label partner, then you can control the contractual terms and conditions. You collect the money from the client and you're in control. So two very different approaches. All right, so let's see here. Pauline asked, how can I brand this site and up the onboarding costs? Well, again, as a white label partner, you're not going to get a copy of our website, right? So as a white label partner, you can market this under your umbrella however you want, at whatever pricing that you want. You could make lots and lots of money. You could make $10,000 from that client's funding, and all that you would pay us is just simply as stated here. So can you make more money as a white label partner running people through this, because we're not doing a 50-50 split across the performance fee? Absolutely, because there is no performance fee that we're charging here. Awesome. All right, well, I think we covered most of the questions. A few of them were redundant. If I missed anything, let me know. But we're up and open for business. You can just simply go to Business Paralegal, click on the SBA Express loan page, and here it is. You can start submitting people in immediately. If you're a white label partner, then go ahead and submit them here as well. But just list yourself and just, for instance, put Bruce White, white label partner submission, because if that's the case, then we're going to invoice you, right? We're going to invoice you half of the $9.99 if you're a white label partner, because you're collecting from the client. If, in contrast, you're a referral partner, of course, you're not going to be invoiced. We're going to get the client under agreement. We'll invoice and collect payment from the client, and then you're paid, again, the flat $100 per referral. Not get rich quick, and I know some of you have a desire to make more than $100 per referral, but this is a very affordable package. I think you'll find that it's easy to drive clients in. If worst case scenario, that, as I mentioned before, if they don't have the $9.99 or half of it up front, we can help them get financing. But you're talking about someone that's really in a cash crunch if they don't have $500. So I think it'll vet out the tire kickers. All right, let's see here if we have anything else that I missed. I think we're good to go. So I appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and start promoting this and helping people get up to $150,000 with an SBA 7A Express loan. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.